Okay, so I decided to go through just a few problems from your homework, just as some refreshers. So you did not have to do 1 through 5, so we'll get rid of those. Okay, so let's look at number 8. So something that usually people forget, the square root of 64, you can also write this as 64 to the power of 1/2. So square root is to the power of 1/2, cubed root is to the power of 1/3, and so on. So 64 to the power of 1/2 equals 8. We want to write it in log form. So you're going to have log base 64 of 8 equals 1/2. Evaluate without using a calculator. Let's do number 11. So this is saying 3 to the power of what? So let's just put a question mark. Equals 1/81. So how do you, 3 to the power of what is going to give you a fraction? So if you do any whole number here, so 3 to the power of 1 is 3, 3 squared is 9, so we need to go in the other direction. So we need to have a negative exponent here. So if you have, let's just do a side note. So if I do 3 to the negative 1, that's the same as 1/3. If I do 3 to the negative 2, that's the same as 1/9. So 3 to the negative what is going to give you 1/81. If you keep going with this, it's just going to be 3 to the negative 4. So this answer is going to be -4. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. And if it's negative, that's why we have it in the fraction form. Let's look at, change of base formula. We're going to come back to those. Okay, so we'll come back to those. Let's see. Okay, these ones, they want you to expand. So let's go ahead and let's do 19. So this is really log base 4 of 4 times x squared. So if you have a times in there, that's the same as saying log base 4 of 4 plus log base 4 of x. But then there's also a squared here. So where does this squared go? Well, this squared can actually just go out front here. So log base 4 of 4 plus 2 log base 4 of x. And I think that's all I wanted to do. Write it in lowest terms. So there's actually one more thing we can do. 4 to the power of what gives you 4? Well, that's just 1. So really, this is just 1. So you have 1 plus 2 log base 4 of x. Okay, let's look at number 32. So in order to do these problems, you want to try to figure out which of these 3 things you can multiply or divide to give you the numbers in here. So here's a 21. So if we take 7 times 3, we get 21. So we can rewrite this as log base b of 1 over 7 times 3. Okay, then we can rewrite this as log base b of 1 minus log base b of 7 times 3. And then you can rewrite it as log base b of 1 minus log base b of 7 minus log base b of 3. And then we know that log base b of 7 is 0.872. And we know log base b of 3 is 0.562. So then you're left with this. Okay, so when you say this to yourself, you want to say b to the power of what gives you 1? Well, anything to the power of 0 will give you 1. So this is just 0. And then you can plug that into your calculator, and that is your answer. If you have more questions on these, feel free to email me. And if I get enough email responses, I can make another video showing how to go through more examples.